I got simple list questions. Camp's gonna be in there with me. So if you guys go, cool, let's do it. Yeah, you're supposed to have two. I don't care. Because by the time I say yes on this, then you know it's gonna take another week and then another week. Then we'll be in July before we know.
I'm going to use this tonight because they're loaded.
It turned out, that this community is a very slight amount of difference.
How's that? Okay,
This will work.
yes, we're good. Okay. Going to call to order the 11th City Council Committee meeting for May 18th, 2026. Roll call. Washington.
Here.
Cornish. Marcinkowski.
Here.
Krumsick.
Here.
Smith. Belkey.
Here.
Bennett. Farrell here. We're going to do a little different agenda order tonight, since we have a presentation by Steve Bryant about Duke Energy, which is the company we've been using for several years already. And he has another meeting to go to. So, come on.
First of all, did you get the projections and stuff that I sent? Yes, okay. So again, being with Good Energy, I have handled the city's accounts since back in 2011, I think is when I started. And I've taken care of them and shopped them each time they come up for renewal. The process has been pretty steady. As we all know, energy prices continue to increase almost every time it comes up for renewal, as well as originally, I basically just overseen everything except for the one treatment plant that we didn't take care of. We left it in Amron's hourly pricing at the time, but this last time around, we chose to include it in the pricing because the hourly pricing had changed, and it's really such a gamble to the client that if a bad event happens, like a real cold spell or a real hot spell, something, that hourly price really jumps up. And a reason for that was clear this time around, because not only last summer did we hit some really high elevated cost. In January alone, when we hit that one or about 10 days worth of really cold weather, that was unpredictable. And many times through the hourly pricing process, the usage got up to like 50, 60 cents a kilowatt hour, which was huge. So we were able to save additional money by putting that all on a regular fixed rate contract. With the contract up for renewal in October, I want to get it renewed now prior to waiting until the Ameren reset, which is June the 1st. energy costs are predicted to go up additionally, starting that time. We've heard different numbers, anywhere from a penny to 2 pennies a kilowatt. So our suggestion is now that I represent about 50 to 60 municipalities in St. Clair, Madison counties alone, and they've all come under the same, situation as the city of Lebanon. And we are trying to get everybody signed before the contracts run out. And the current best offer that we have is from a company called Direct Energy. In the past, we've had Homefield. Many of the suppliers now, because there's such a limited capacity supply for electricity, that they are not doing longer term contracts. They're saying we're only doing 1-year contracts, and then they put in them like capacity pass-throughs, which means that, again, you guys are taking all the risk, and those aren't what we want. We want a fixed rate contract for as long term as we can get, because we know the price isn't going to go down. So the recommendation on behalf of Good Energy is that we accept Direct Energy's current offer of their contract. Down at the very bottom of that page, it will show you what the projected savings is above Ameren's current rate and projected rate. And if anything, that's a conservative number, because the Ameren price that I'm using there was the average over the past 12 months, and the average for the next 48 months will be considerably higher than that. So anyway, that's really what we have. Again, the recommendation of what has happened in the past is, once I make the recommendation, then I contact City Hall clerk, email them a contract as early, preferably as early as tomorrow, and then it's signed, sent back to me, and it's locked in at that time. And your current price will stay in effect until October, and then it will change to the new rate. Any questions? Thank you. Okay.
You realize that this is a committee's meeting, we make a recommendation. The council will be meeting next Monday,
Next Monday. Okay, that's fine.
and that's we'll do it. What's the recommendation? Consensus, say yes?
Yes, before June 1st.
Okay, we got the consensus, we just have to get a vote.
Okay, I'll follow up. then. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, getting back to the regular agenda. Audience participation. Remember, you have 5 minutes. Please state your name. Can you come up? Remember, the council will not respond to you now. They may respond to you when it comes to all the person comments.
Sharon Dial, wanted to give a status on a couple of things that I'm responsible for and or that people think I'm responsible for. The Lebanon Historical Society plans to vote tomorrow on a contractor replacing the roof on Mermaid House, so just FYI on projects there. Michael has probably heard from at least one of the contractors. The permits will likely need. I'll keep the city posted on if we need a temporary street closure. I got the DCEO grant application submitted to Friday. Wish us luck. Due primarily to the above, I admit I'm very behind on weeding and planting Rose Corner. My apologies, that hopefully that will change soon here, and maybe even later this week, but we'll see. Also, the ginkgos that have appeared, Cody informed me that Charlie had purchased 6 and was asking about where to plant them. I talked with Charlie, read the details. He said a nursery has told him they were hybrids that got 12 to 14 feet tall and 6 feet wide. The hybrid is Princeton Century, which Missouri Botanical Garden and 5 other websites all agree is columnar, but it gets 40 to 50 feet tall and 20 to 30 feet wide, which is going to interfere with parking and sidewalk usage. Since it is columnar, that's inconsistent with being able to readily limb them up. So it's going to interfere for life, basically. It's also not considered good practice to plant a lot of the same type of tree in a close area tends to make spread of disease. So I had suggested, along with, as Cody had, maybe planting those 6 in the cemetery. And I recognize that there's even more than 6 now along St. Louis Street. So just FYI on various things.
Thank you. Nice. Anybody else?
I mean, I'll go if nobody else wants to.
There you go. All right.
It's okay, Justin.
All right. I don't really have a speech prepared. I just have some bullet points from the last few meetings. I've been busy with kids and work and haven't been able to come. I'm Bethany Williams. I own Creekside Bar and Grill. I just made some notes today. The city hall situation. I mean, we've all read the agenda. This place looks pretty nice. I mean, I'm not too worried about the building currently uptown. I looked up, Lebanon owns over 24 properties currently. The city does. It sounds like we have plenty of space that we could just put something on one of those. Someone said last week, we could fit everything at the old city hall in under a 10 by 20 shed. So it doesn't sound like we need some massive building to move into. I'm not sure what the situation is here, but this is a nice building, and this one next door, I know Martin Roofing's not in Lebanon anymore. So I don't know if it's an option to, lease own or buy this, or it just seems like a weird time for, I mean, we have no money to make payroll, and now all of a sudden we're buying buildings and buying properties, and we're ragging on the police right now, which I have a statement about that later too. Everybody's trying to rob Peter to pay Paul right now. And then I read the agenda today, and I'm all about the ladies getting raised for doing extra work. I have nothing against that. But if those ladies can achieve the work of this accountant that we need, why would we not just go in that direction? Lower cost here in the office, have that be an option. It seems like a lot of extra spending. Also, I would like to make a statement, and I think this goes for various members of council, the community, people on payroll. I think that there needs to be very clear, and there is on the website, like list of duties of every employee. I think some people are doing things they shouldn't be, and some people aren't getting to do things they should be. I think one of those is the lawyer. I think last week when Mr. Grove asked to speak, he was given permission to speak, and he was shut down by the lawyer. That is not his job to do. The lawyer is here to advise the mayor. That is not his job to do. So my tax money is paying for the lawyer as well. That is not his job or his place. So that should never happen, ever, ever. I think all of yourselves and everyone sitting here, taxes pay for the city of Lebanon. The way that some of the townspeople are talked to at city council meetings is actually really gross, in my opinion. I'm gonna use Mr. Weil as an example. You love him, you hate him, it doesn't matter. He's been here forever. He has every right to come up here and speak just as much as anybody else does. I've been to these meetings and I've heard 100 people overspeak people, interrupt people. They're not getting kicked out by the police chief and this and that. That's just ridiculous to me, absolutely ridiculous to me. People have problems. I mean, Tammy's been up here, I think more than I have about the sewer. And I don't think anyone's even answered a question for her still. And I'm sure she's having a horrible day because it's pouring down rain. So I'm sure her area of her home probably smells like a pile of shit, to be honest. And so who wants to live like that? And nobody can answer a question. I mean, I just don't understand. It's like beating a dead horse. I don't understand. I mean, why does she have to keep coming up here every week to get an answer from someone? I truly just don't understand that. Then last week, if we're giving raises and whatever. But I don't know this guy. I just saw in the video last week that he's gonna take over, right? So if the ladies here are getting a raise, why would he not get one? And then he gets laughed at when he asks about it. He's an employee of the city of Lebanon and our own mayor's laughing at him. Like, how inappropriate. He shouldn't have to have 5 minutes to speak. He works here. He should get to come up here all night if he wants to. And I don't even know the guy. And so, same thing, Miss Naomi getting cut off. You guys have asbestos next door and mold and leaking roofs. They literally live next door and nobody is taking it serious. Their concerns. She gets cut off in 5 minutes, but then so-and-so gets 5 minutes and someone else's time and someone else's time and someone else's time. When people have real concerns that affect them in the city, they should be able to say what they need to say. Because half the time sending emails and calling and messages, they just fall on deaf ears. This new economic development, whatever this new job is. So another new job yet today, I woke up and saw. And I would like to quote just a few of the things on Mr. Whitty's mayor page. So here's his 2025 campaign page. Listening to residents and addressing concerns effectively. As the pro tem mayor, he's prepared Charlie to lead on day one. He's ready to bring strong, steady leadership to continue improving Lebanon, growing our economy and making our city a better place to live and work. He wants to build a hotel, bring a Walmart neighborhood market. Let's see. I'm committed to making Lebanon a thriving, forward-moving community while preserving its historic charm. That's one that seems a little odd this week. I thought that was the point of the mayor, was to do the economic development, especially when he got a raise. That when I looked at Sherry's, she was making about $5 grand. It seems like his is about triple that. And so I thought that was part of the mayor's job, to reach out and get businesses. And I personally told everyone to vote for Mr. Whitty because I thought he was running on a platform that he was going to work on businesses. I also see in the business district, everyone else in town's getting 10 grand in Creekside, because I'm sure you guys are enjoying my gambling revenue right now and my sales tax that I write out every month. Everybody else in Lebanon gets a free 10 grand. I would like it at Creekside, you know. And then George stated last year for Creekside that we need a destination business in town. It's been absolute crickets coming from city leadership. The mayor did not show up to our ribbon cutting or our grand opening. We were featured on Fox 2 News. Never heard a word. We've now been on the front page of the Downstate Illinois magazine that says you go all the way from Gateway to the racetrack. The next attraction it says to see is Creekside Bar and Grill. The very next attraction. Crickets. Crickets. Everyone wants people to come to Lebanon. You have something bringing people to Lebanon. And from our city leadership, I'm hearing nothing. I mean, nothing. That's pitiful. My next, and one of my last comments, depending on how much time I have. My best friend in the world, her husband is a police officer. So looking from the outside in and playing devil's advocate, everyone's saying we need to cut cops down to one shift and this, that. Like she said to me, and now I see it a totally different way. She said if her husband worked in the town where there was one cop on duty at a time, he would never be allowed to work here. Because if you have no backup, who would send their husband and their father, their children into something like that? So that's something everyone who's married and has children should think about when they say one cop, one cop, one cop. That's just, can I have someone's 5 minutes?
What?
Can I have someone else's 5 minutes?
No, we don't do that.
But we did last week.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, someone did get extra 5 minutes last week.
I don't know who it was.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah, someone did. Oh, you got an extra 1 minute?
Yeah.
Either way, also,
That's what I'm saying. Just
Yeah.
think-
okay, that's fine. But those are just some bullet points. I'll come back next week with the rest. How's that sound?
Thank you, Bethany. Next person. Right there.
Thank you, George. Where's your timer?
It's right here.
Okay, with an alarm.
No, not yet.
I like this is Terry Weil. Paul, I want to respond to some of your comments directed to me that I couldn't respond last week. I'm asking you to tell us the name of the architect that was in the building with you. I'm talking about 312 and 314 West St. Louis Street, the City Hall building, the very large building. And you said you were there with an architect, but you won't tell me who it is. I need a name and a phone number and the firm that he is affiliated with. Hopefully he was licensed, a legal architect. We don't know. We don't know who that individual was. And you won't respond, right? Maybe you'll respond after I'm finished, hopefully. Also, I want to clarify, I want to clear some foggy statements that have been made. The mayor made it to me in a private meeting. I wasn't the only one in that meeting. When I did, I was an independent contractor. I have retired that business last year when I got all my municipalities I worked for taken care of by somebody else, and all my clientele taken care of. I retired it of March last year. When I worked for any municipality, I was not an employee for the city of Lebanon. I am directed under control of the mayor, that it is the mayor. And if the mayor is not there, goes down the line. I did not, and I would not do any inspections without the paperwork being handed to me by the city of Lebanon. And I was told where to go what to do. And yes, there were times when some of the previous mayors would ask me to go with them somewhere, especially if we had to condemn, unfortunately, a building. I want to clarify that. Because you were starting to talk about that and then you caught yourself. I think you know that I was an independent contractor, not an employee of the city. I'm saying it tonight because I want it clarified with all of you. There was things that I seen during those years. And I did work for the city of Lebanon since 2010 on and off, good or bad. If they hired somebody, I thought it was great, full-time. That's what I wanted to see in my town. I was not happy when you eliminated that position because code enforcement's not going to happen at all now. I don't care what you say. It's not going to happen. There's neighborhoods, and I feel for, especially Mrs. Washington's been trying to get things done in her ward, and it doesn't happen. There were homes that needed to be torn down in her ward. There's homes uptown. One of them is right on West St. Louis Street. Why don't you concentrate on that instead of tearing down City Hall? There's another building, and I can go down. I could give you a legal sheet full of buildings that need the attention. Lebanon City Hall could be bought by a developer, a contractor, and taken care of. The roof, I did point it out several times to the powers that be at City Hall, and it was not taken care of. In the inspection report, it says your inspector, and he did a thorough job. I read everything. He did a great job. He did a great job. He even says that it needed to be replaced immediately. Not patched, not left leaked. Thank you. How much time I got left?
30
Now?
seconds.
Well, I'm gonna reserve that. And I know I get a laugh about
You
that.
don't watch, you're watching too many congressional meetings.
No.
Joe?
My name is Dr. Joseph Sioni. I'm a retired dentist that provided health care to this community for almost 40 years from my offices on 2 locations on West St. Louis Street. I also reside on West St. Louis Street, immediately west of the old library location. Topic: demolition of the old City Hall building. Financial decisions should never be decided on emotional feelings. And that is what this council is doing. I walked through evaluation by Alderman Krumsick. Oh, I know you're not gonna like this. Is amateurish at best. That's where it belongs. The one document that you have on the condition of this building provides no conclusive evidence that this building needs to be demolished. Secondly, this council has not publicly examined all options to make a decision based on objective facts. When I sold my building in the adjacent block, I invested into a commercial appraiser to come up with a selling price. I know what my building was worth. The council is completely underestimating the value of the property. The old City Hall building as is, which is being neglected on purpose by this council, still has a commercial value. Alderman Krumsick's statement that no one will purchase this building is an assumption based solely on his desire to influence this council. Compare what you will lose if you decide to demolish the building to what the city will gain if the building is sold. You will incur to the residents of this city a huge demolition cost, the ire of its residents, and eventually an empty lot that the city can't maintain. Have you looked at the condition of the mini park or the trash in the city parking lot in the 100 block of West St. Louis Street? Why should we trust you that this council will maintain it? Now, if the city would decide to sell the property, it would not only provide a one-time income off the selling price, but it would receive annual income off the property tax. How can this council not understand the difference? If this city had a good relationship with one of the financial institutions in this community, the council possibly could get a favorable short-term loan to at least make stopgap repairs on the water issues from the clogged downspout in front of the library. Finally, revitalization of this downtown is not going to improve if you remove more storefronts for less businesses and less patronage. Will somebody in this chamber step up and lead this council to sanity and reject Alderman Crumpson's hidden agenda for demolishing this building? And if you support neglecting the maintenance of city assets, I'm asking that you resign effective tonight, especially Alderman Crumpson. Your intentional negligence is creating this fiasco.
Thank you.
Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Frank Helster. I actually live right next to the Sionis. And all I'm coming here to do is really talk about really what options we have. I think the first thing is if you can slow roll your decision to go towards demolition, and this is all what I'm hearing, just give the community the chance to see what we can do to save the building. And here's what my wife has done. Michelle Helstrom has contacted a couple folks. First of all, is the State Historic Preservation Society or office. I'll just say SHPO for now, okay? And they said there are grants that we can receive to not only do fixing the problem, which is the leaks, but also remediation. You're talking about the mold that's crept up in there. And then also restoration of the building. We're talking about a building here that's been built, I think, 1920s, you know, and that's part of our heritage, part of what our town is right now. Also, Michelle contacted, and Kevin Schmidt came by the house yesterday, but she also contacted his office last week. And she talked to his chief of staff. Chief of staff said that, oh, I know exactly what grants you need to get in order to save this building. And that talks about fixing the issue, the leak issue, fixing the mold, and, you know, in the restoration of it. Okay. So with all of that, we've got grant money. It's going to be free. Free. It doesn't cost the town anything. It just costs us some time, and we have no problem doing it. We really don't. We'll write up all the stuff for the grants and see what we can get. Now, I'm not really sure why there's this hard role for the demolition of it. As I understand it, the building's got some issues, but it's not condemned. So why would the city spend money, one, to do demolition, which includes the asbestos abatement and also the silica that's within the brick. I mean, that's some pretty rough stuff, okay? So, and then the demolition of it, and then what are you gonna do once that's gone? Are you gonna build something or what? that's extra money. So I'm just offering a very good potential to save the building, fix it up, put whatever commerce we want into it. It's cost the city nothing. So just think on that, if I could ask that. Okay, thank you.
George, your name again?
Frank Helster, actually, I live right next to the city.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Real quick, I just wonder, Brandon, quite a bit, and Bethany's right, they're behind the house for hours today. Can anybody tell me what the plan is once Tony's on? There'll only be 3 employees left? Maybe someone can answer that.
Are you gonna water your basement today?
Shit. Oh, not today.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure back.
We don't get water, we get sewer.
Okay.
We waterproof our basement.
Oh, yeah, and when's that public works guy, director coming in?
Yeah.
And maybe will he be hands-on or he just oversees and doesn't work for you?
Evening, I'm back again. My name is Barbara Sione. I'm here again tonight to voice concerns over the proposed demolition of the former City Hall building. I still do not believe there has been any proof it needs to come down. Only opinions, not backed up by reports from a licensed contractor or structural engineer. My purpose tonight is to ensure there is recorded, undisputed video evidence of my concerns for future use, since my emails and texts continue to go unanswered and ignored. I have 2 direct questions for the record. Number 1, what is your plan to protect neighbors from environmental hazards? The council moved quickly to relocate city staff due to building dangers and potential lawsuits they might bring. What about the exposure of the surrounding neighbors during demolition? Specifically, the release of asbestos, mold, lead paint, and silica. Silica dust is very, very dangerous. Once you inhale that, there's no treatment. You're gone. What is your plan to keep us safe? Will you seal our windows and doors as they recommend? Will you enclose our AC units so silica dust doesn't circulate through our homes? Are you worried about potential lawsuits from residents the same way you were from employees? Number 2, how will you protect our homes from physical damage caused by heavy equipment vibrations? Vibrations cause cracks in foundations, walls, windows, door frames. City Hall is surrounded by old buildings, some 100 to 200 years old. I took a quick look on the St. Clair County parcel search before I came. Fresh Hours, 1897. McAllister's, 1837. Hampton's, 1909. Essen Price, 1912. Hellstern, 1847. Joslin, across the street, 1862. The Meredith Funeral Home, 1900. And we have the newest one, 1926. We turn 100 years old this year. So, furthermore, there's a significant grade difference between the library portion of the City Hall and our property. I don't know if anybody has looked at that. The windows of the library on our side are knee-high. When you go inside, they're over shoulder high. That property drops off significantly. After demolishing that wall, how will you shore up my yard so my garage does not shift and go down the hill? How will you keep my driveway in place? Will you build a 132-foot retaining wall with a privacy fence along the east side of my property to replace what we're losing? It's not the most beautiful sight to look out there and see it, or to see all the air conditioning units and everything, but it serves a degree of privacy, safety, and it keeps my yard from falling downhill. I called my insurance agent today, and she confirmed that standard homeowner policies will not cover the damage caused by nearby government demolition or earth movement. We need it in writing that the city will assume 100% liability for any destruction caused to our properties. So what is your plan? Please slow down this demolition until you can give your residents some real answers. These are our homes. These are our biggest investments. We're just afraid of what's gonna happen and no answers. So please work with us. I don't wanna fight with anybody. I don't care if you wanna move the city hall, build a new fancy city hall, please do it. Just leave this building alone so it doesn't damage the residents. Thank you.
Anybody else?
My name's Kevin Haas. I'm working in the Water Sewer Department at City 11. I have several questions for you all. I was offered basically a $6,500 raise to take the intern position, while the street and alley one was offered a $26,000 raise. So he gets a raise all the way up to where Cody left off. I don't really think that's fair, as my position should be the same. We also upped the accountant's position another 20 grand because, well, maybe we can't get somebody for whatever she was making. Did anybody try to do that first before we upped the ante? It's awful funny, we seem to spend all this money, but we don't have anything. You people do not understand all the paperwork and work that goes in a sewer plant or a water plant. I challenge any of these guys to come down and take a try at it if you think you can handle it. The city spent $12 million on this wastewater plant, and none of you even come, except maybe RJ, has come down to even see where it is or what you spent the money on. It's pretty sad to me. So the mayor has been hounding me almost to the point of harassment, which we'll get into that some other day. Through text at 2 o'clock in the morning and all other times about taking this intern position. And I said, I will not take it until this resolve with this pay scale is. I'm sorry, but that's the way I feel. You didn't seem to spend the money on everything else around here. All of a sudden, we're gonna spend money, we're gonna get a new director. Now we're gonna have a director of finance, whatever that's the heck you ever want to spend it on. Seems like you just do what you want. So I'm thinking that since you want to lay me off, that's just what's gonna happen. If you want to fire me, that's fine. I'm good with that. I'll just get a lawyer at City Hall. I don't care anymore. I'm tired of this. You guys are all ridiculous. You sit up here, you make decisions, and you don't care about nobody else. And Mr. Crumsey, you can say what you want. You're all bad.
What's that last part?
I said you guys are all in on this together. I don't know what you guys are up to, but you got some plan, I'm sure, that we don't know about. That's what you're trying to get to. Maybe it's just you want to get rid of it because we actually make maybe a good wage now after 20 or 30 years. So let's hire a bunch of kids in there at $17 an hour and get them to fix everything. Jessica even said she had $43,000 set aside for the cemetery. That pays for one person. Why are you hiring 3 part-timers that don't know nothing? Doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to throw anybody on a bus, but this is ridiculous around here. You know, you want to turn down the city hall? You can't even make payroll half the time.
That's right.
That's right.
Good job.
Where's open, maybe?
Oh. Someone was waiting, they had to run to the restroom real quick.
No, they're not in there.
Well, you can wait, I'm sure.
Say you gotta go back to real fast.
Yeah.
I can sing a song if anybody.
Oh, that's it.
I'll take a minute.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll take a minute.
Well, you get 5.
I got 5.
I have that.
I got 5.
I got it.
Just a couple things on the city hall demolition. One of the things that I've moved before, that we've talked about, the city spent, I think, $4,000 or $5,000 to have a contractor goes to the old city hall and go through all the city buildings and give an evaluation. I have heard no discussion about that at council meetings. My understanding it's out there. My understanding was that at one point in time, that the treasurer and the mayor were gonna get together, go through this and come back to the council with information. As a taxpayer, I'd like to see that. I want to take a look at it. There's a lot of people here that don't want to see the city hall tore down. I'm in the middle on that at this point. In order to tear it down, you gotta look at, I look at business, I look at the money.
You have to look at all the options. Nobody's told me, nobody's come up with a number that it would take to fix that building and put it back in the code. That number versus what's it gonna take you to buy ground and build a city hall somewhere else, or to tear down that building and build a new one there. You gotta look at the numbers. I have not seen numbers here. It's all about the money, God's sakes. As a lot of people have said, it seems like you got a lot of money to spend to hire positions that we've never had and that we don't need. I'm not seeing that. I want to see that report. Personally, from a historical standpoint, I don't see the building as being all that important. As far as parking, as far as what to do with it, my personal opinion, for whatever that's worth, is that we do need to park. I drove through St. Louis Street Sunday afternoon when the Looking Glass did their play. There wasn't a parking spot up there on 3 blocks. The existing city parking lot was full, the side streets were full. When we have events here, we need more parking. I'm sorry. And I realize that there's a trash problem. That's a maintenance issue. It's a police issue. No offense, chief. Somebody's throwing fat trash out. The rest are stupid. I'm sorry. Let's make some money. Let's stop the problem. It can be done. I'm done.
Here it comes.
As you guys know, my name is Paul Grove. I'm city clerk, but I'm here as a resident taxpayer. I have a little concern over the new positions that are being added or trying to be added. You guys voted in a tie, I believe, not to cut people, and the mayor broke the tie. So we were to find $315,000, correct, Jessica? Was it $315 in general fund, I heard?
To make it balance?
Correct.
Yes.
So we're gonna be about 100,000 short of that, excluding hiring a city accountant. I understand there are positions for director of finance and accounting. When you have a director job, you manage the team that you're assigned to. If you're director of finance and accounting, which typically means the same, you have a finance and accounting department. We don't have that. We have a city accountant. Well, we don't now. Let's hire a city accountant. RJ said something that I really liked. We got to pay somebody a little bit more money. Do we need to change the title? We were running smoothly until Michelle quit. I support her 100%. Why or whatever she did to do that. She did a great job. If it takes paying somebody more, I know it's probably gonna be a slap in the face to her. But do not go out and spit. You don't cut jobs to create more jobs that are gonna cost you more. It takes 75 plus bennies, you gotta do it. City accountant. That's all we need. I've seen it for a year. I worked with Jessica, Stephanie, Charlie, Michelle, Heather, and Tricia, and it's running. Right now, the two of them, Tricia and Stephanie, are gonna be loaded with a lot of stuff to find out, well, we need somebody quick. So let's look at just a city accountant. If you guys want to go for director of finance and accounting, try it after I'm done. Because I can tell you, you're gonna run out of money. We're gonna be almost 180 plus in the red just by hiring a new Michelle with a little more money. That rolls over to the next year. Let's talk about the other position that came up. I don't know if it's destined already for somebody. A director, you guys have it on your agenda that I created, I'm sorry. Director of Planning and Development and Operations. Well, there's no planning and development really going on now. Now, will that person bring in new business? I don't know. Operations, scrap that one. Number one, I'm tired of being a little peon. I'm an elected city clerk, full-time. That's the city clerk's office. I think I'm director of operations over at least. I mean, I don't manage or boss them around. They report to Charlie, but I'll do the job for free. As I said on other jobs. Stop spending money. I said this for 8 years. Charlie, what did you say about that? You're always saying stop spending money. And you know what? We had money until I got out of office. And in the 4 years, it went to shit. Jessica did inherit a nightmare. It's not Jessica's fault. I'm not here for her or me, but we inherited it. You gotta stop spending money. Our tax revenues are down. Our sales tax are up. Business district and all that. But do not cut jobs to create more jobs. It's gonna be, I'd rather have the jobs back that left because they worked. We can't be shortchanged on water and sewer. Streets and alley for Sean. He's gonna hear complaints all the time.
Yeah.
His team. I like the way he says it, my team. Take care of the people that are here. We don't need to create fictitious jobs. 1 minute, or you're cool with what I'm saying. The bottom line is this. The bottom line is protect our taxes. I pay almost 10 grand in this city on one house and a little bit, well, not a little bit more, but 2,000 on another. About 350 goes to the city of Lebanon. So we don't get a lot of taxes. The county and the schools get it all. Almost. Take care of our money. And I'm saying this to Charlie, to Stephanie, to Jessica, to the elected officials here. Let's put a stop. Why did we cut jobs 1 month and within a month, we see 2 director jobs come up? I'm not against it, but I'm looking to say, let's wait and breathe. And by the way, include me some of the talks. Why does it come up? Even the aldermen don't hear about it.
Right.
That's all I have, because I know I won't be able to speak at the council meeting. So. That is.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks all.
Anything else? Before we cut it off. Okay, we'll move on to alderperson comments. I'd like to say a few things. We do have the inspection report on City Hall. That is a public document.
Microphone, we can't hear you.
Okay. We do have the inspection on the old City Hall. And it has been discussed. That's been the basis of some of the decisions the council has made. And it is a public document. Why it wasn't, I'm not the person who makes that decision. Why it wasn't put out, copies of or put out the clerk for anybody to come in and take a look at it. But it is a relevant document. It has photographs, it has inspection reports, it has estimated costs for repairs, and then the estimated cost for repairs actually exceed what a new building would cost. That's one of the reasons why I would like to get replacing it. There's areas of the floor that are soft and collapsing. The roof is soft and leaking. There are fumes back in the garage area. The ambulance drivers are complaining about the odors and the fumes coming back there. So there are some issues.
Can I ask a question about that? Can I ask a question about that? Since it's public, I'm just wondering if I can ask a quick question about that. No. Is there insurance on the building?
What?
Is there insurance on the building?
Yeah, they didn't turn it around. Remember when he said it just with this one of these recent storms and someone said, well, do you have insurance? And Jessica said, we didn't turn it in. Right? Right, Cody said it.
Anyway, there are a number of issues that are being addressed. Out in, going out to what I see in social media, which you should never listen to anything that's in social media. And according to social media, we have a new building already designed with a walking path and pond, etc. We haven't even decided as a council where a replacement hall, city hall would be yet. The mayor has been talking to us and others about having several public forums, which I know many of you are asking for, so that we can answer questions and discuss it. We don't want them to be public frying, we want them to be public forums. So we can have discussions and get ideas and get recommendations, suggestions. If it wasn't for the fact that it's too dangerous to do so, I would say, well, let's let people wander through City Hall building freely and take a look at things. But the problem is that we don't want to take on that liability. That's a liability. The stairs go down to the basement are not safe. You get too many people in one place on the floor there, it could collapse. There are a lot of issues in our building. And plumbing, electrical have to be completely replaced if you were to do that building. Yeah, I looked at the whole thing. And when I look at that whole thing, I'm gonna go back to my past now. We had a building that was built, it was over 100 years old on a school campus. And it was gonna cost us more to abate the asbestos at that time. Than it was going to cost to build a new building. That's how bad it was. You couldn't scratch the wall without releasing asbestos. So, there are a lot of things going on. As a council, we are listening. We're doing what we can. We're limited. We're really limited. First of all, no more than 2 of us can get together and talk outside of the meeting without posting it as a meeting or being sued for violation of the other meeting. And that's a personal fine. I'm not gonna do that. And then, so we're limited to discussing things at these meetings. This is a meeting where we're supposed to openly discuss issues.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
You okay, Mark?
Yeah, I'm okay.
If we discuss things outside the meeting, that could result in fines. And they're personal fines, and I don't want to do that. So a lot of the issues everybody's bringing up, believe me, the council is well aware of them. And we discuss what we can legally discuss in closed sessions, which limits us. So, that's me, anybody else?
I guess I was trying to figure out where I start. I think they can hear me.
Thank you. No.
First of all, thank you for renovating your place. It looks great. It really has helped downtown area. We've always wanted that to be brought up to par, so you've done a great job. Okay, so let's see, where do I start? Joe, Dr. Cioni, we and I are friends. I talked to him and Barb before the meeting, and I would disagree with you that this is amateurish and that I have a hidden agenda, which I don't have a hidden agenda. I don't know what that would even be, but
Wish you would disclose it.
if I knew what the hidden agenda would be, I would disclose it. So anyway, where do I start? So we have discussed demoing the building. That would be my dream, to demo that building. And to do a park down there with parking and so on and so forth. And I'm glad, Ron, you're at least on the fence on that one. I think you're probably about the only one here that's on the fence. Everybody's made up their mind, kind of. I just want to talk, and I've listened to you guys too, so please let me talk. So what we've done is that we're limited to what we can do. So what we've done is given permission to be able to draw to get bids to demo the building. I've had different people walk through the building. I want to make sure I get this very clear. I've had different people walk through the building, including an architect. And no, I won't give you the architect's name because I don't want you calling them up and badgering them, because I know that's exactly what you do. You call me on my cell phone to ask me these questions, and I did not give you my cell phone number. So anyway, if I did, I can't even remember if I did previously, Terry. So certainly after last week, when you said I was dishonest, that I would do you any favors is kind of ridiculous, first of all. Second of all, when we do get bids on demoing the building, that doesn't mean we're gonna demo the building. That just means we get bids to demo the building. One of the other things is, and even if we do get, as soon as we start to get architects or people talking about demoing the building, that costs money, and architects to work on it costs money. So we haven't spent any money yet, not a penny. Just my time and just some other people's time. So there's nothing to disclose yet. So once the bids are in, now I even talked to the CONs beforehand. I said, listen, you know, everybody has a different opinion on the city hall. I would love the city hall to stay where it's at. I'd love the city hall to be renovated. Just as money goes, it just would be a ludicrous thing to do. However, if we can get somebody, like we put a reserve, I would be okay, and I don't know if the rest of the council would agree, but to put it up for bid, but put a reserve on the bid. So because that property is worth something to the city for the future of the city, if instead of just, let's say the business goes in there and opens up a bicycle shop or whatever it is, that would be good for the city because it generates funds, right? Money. And they'd also fix up the building to code. That'd be good. It also saves us money from demoing the building. All that would be a positive. However, I don't think that will happen, and I'm okay with, as far as the council goes, if they have to decide as well, we would put it up for bid with a reserve on it. What would it actually be worth to the city to have a park, a grandstand or whatever we do, some green space, everything like that? What is that really worth to the city in the future? Is it worth $200,000 to the city in the future? But it's also going to cost $150,000 to $200,000 to tear down that building, put it in the exact place to where we can start to build on it, which we can get grants for. Or I would be completely against just putting it up for bid and somebody bid $1 on it. I don't think that would be a good way of money. But if we could put a reserve on it and somebody would come in, even, I don't know, I had mentioned $300,000 and Mrs. Sione said that she thought that would be too much. Or maybe it would be too much, but put a reserve on it, say whoever buys that building has to renovate it to code, and no TIF money to where we're not getting any tax money from it, or very little TIF money, and bring it back to code. And then we could get bids on people doing that and see if we do get any bids on it. I'm okay with that. I'm fine. The thing is that because we're talking about doing all this stuff doesn't mean we make the decisions yet. We haven't even for sure made any decisions on it. We just know that something has to happen with that building. It needed to be done. And Terry's saying, yeah, he didn't work for the city. He worked for the city. He was a subcontractor. And I agree with you. And my problem with that is that the city, this was our whole point. The city was enforcing other buildings for code violations when the worst code violations were in the city hall. The worst code violations were at the police department. And so that was pretty bad, in my opinion, hypocrisy for the city to do this and force it on everybody else, but not on themselves. So now we're at a point after all of these years. I've only lived in this town 26 years, been on the council since September. That, believe me, I didn't want to be here. My wife, you can blame my wife for this because she said okay, and I told her whatever the decision was, I'd do it or not. These are not all one decision here and there. There's a whole bunch of moving parts, and if for it to work, even to demo the building, that costs money, right? But it also, we can get money for grants for parks too. So parking and parks. We can also get money to renovate that, somebody could get money for grants to renovate that building. I don't think, now I don't know, I don't think that there would be anywhere near as much money for a grant to fix that building. Because what I've said in the past is that normally when you renovate a building, like your building, Mr. Frank, your building structurally was sound, your brick was sound, had been renovated over the years. The roof had been worked on, your soffits you started to work on. You did different things, you brought it up to par, you continued to work on this. This building has been neglected for so long, and the age of the building being from about 1920 something, with the plumbing and electric in the floor, the whole thing would have to be completely rebuilt, which costs you more money to completely rebuild something than to tear it down and build something new. So that's been my point. So I don't think that's too amateurish. I just think that's just experience. However, as we move forward in the future, nobody's hiding anything. I've said exactly what we've been talking about this whole for months while the owl's going. Nothing has been decided either way. We've decided to move forward with getting bids to demo it so we can get an idea of what it would cost, because these guys don't have that experience. I don't have experience in what Mike does or what these guys do. So I figured it'd probably be about $150,000. And it's gonna be about $150,000 to $200,000 to demo it and get it to the place where it needs to be at in order to even start doing something else, right? So in order for us to make that decision, that's with asbestos and all this other stuff going. Now, maybe that's my problem, because I've been breathing all this stuff in for years and years. You know, this asbestos all these years I've been breathing and I'm still here. The point is that I get the concern, especially the Sionis, because they live right next door. And in order for us to move even forward before that is, we would have to talk, and let's say the building is fixed up, it probably wouldn't be so hard for the Sionis, because that wall would stay there. And they could probably work within that envelope. But if the building gets demoed, then we would still have to remedy that whole situation with the Sionis. And I think Mr. Farrell said last week that maybe we could deed some property over and fix that property. You know, there's all these options. So what happens is when there's change that happens, I saw it even at the golf course, when John Bailey bought that golf course. I had calls, and I wasn't even an alderman, calls about how they were, you know, digging out the lake over there and putting the dirt in the valley, and it was gonna ruin everybody's water and the drainage. I'm like, listen, just wait, they're doing a good job. Watch and wait and see what they do. And they finally seeded it, they finally did everything. I think that Chris could probably tell you the same things, that when they were done, they did a great job. And the change was that we didn't have a public golf course, which I would have loved to still have that public golf course. I'm on it. They fixed the clubhouse, made it better. They did a bunch of other things, and then he donated it back to McKendree.
He sold it.
Well, sold it, donated it, whatever it was. But the fear is that everybody's gonna have water in their basement, like you having sewage in your basement, and that's a huge problem. If I was in your seat, I would be, let's fix it.
Can you?
Wait, no, stop, let me finish. There's a lot of fear that's going in on these decisions, the people making decisions about whether we're gonna do this or do that. So I would like to propose that we do, because I know a lot of people didn't think we were gonna do this, but we had always planned to possibly do this, and I don't know if we ever said it, we probably should have, if we didn't say it earlier, is to at least give it an option for somebody to buy it at a decent price, and that they would have to bring it back up to code. However, for the future Lebanon, I don't think, even if we got grants to renovate that building, we can look into it a little bit more, take a little more time on that, but we're not demoing the building next week anyway, or a month or 6 months, we don't even know. Even if we don't get enough grants to renovate that building, in my opinion, it's not worth it to save that building when we can do something nice and build another place that houses the police department, which is a disaster there too. Not the police departments per se, but the building and the city hall, and put it somewhere. We don't even know where. So anyway, I think that covers most of those things that was brought up. I'm trying, did I miss anything?
No.
Can you address what's gonna happen when Penny's gone with the plan for the?
Well, we'll have to discuss that as a council. I'm not sure all that situation going on. Again, that's not, I'm part of that decision. I don't know much about the decision. In fact, Todd, you know, you and I gave each other a phone call that said, call me up. I'd like to come and see what was going on out there. And you didn't call me, but that's okay.
I thought you were calling me. Come on down, come
Yeah.
down now.
Yeah.
Watch the pump in action.
Well, then maybe I'll come after.
Yeah,
whatever.
Tommy and
But,
Mike's talking.
anyway, you know, and as far as me, I've never been down at the water department. I was down at the water department when it was first built. And I was brought around when it was first built. I haven't been down there since I've been an alderman. It's been years. So anyway, there's a lot of am I over?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I got more than 10 minutes. But I had a lot of 5-minuters.
I know, that's why, that's why we do not interrupt or get talk or ask questions during the time that residents are speaking to ensure you get your full 5 minutes. And, that's one reason to do that. Okay,
I got something.
go ahead.
All right. I am with a lot of these residents here about the city hall. I've made it known from the beginning. To date, so far, we've lost 7 of our historic downtown buildings. Like, what was it, like a couple years, 3 or 4 years ago? 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I'm not, the Cedars building was demolished without, I think, proper documentation and investigation by previous administration. Like I've said before, and I have things in here that I would like to talk about, but I mean, a lot of you guys covered it. I think our best bet, and before we even go for bid on a demolition, I think we should seek out these options with these grants that are available and actually see what it is gonna really cost to get foundation, electrical, plumbing, all these things done, and make it to where something that we could use it for the city as like an event space or a market or something, or like a farm. Someone had a great idea about a farmer's market, you know, for local farmers and stuff like that, in that building with the garage doors and things like that, or some type of event space to create some type of income for the city, because obviously we're broken. I think it'd be, I think it would also just completely destroy the landscape of downtown. Just like when they cut down those massive trees downtown, they've destroyed what, how beautiful downtown was by a couple of branches falling down. I didn't ever really understand all that. But cut down a tree that was probably 200 years old, and now it's gone, and it's completely changed the look of downtown. And like, for the people that saying like it's not a historic building, I would strongly disagree. I mean, it was built in 1922, 23. It was designed by a local architect, Charles Thurston. And it was a Ford dealership. And one of the cool things there, they had, it was like one of the first like ladies' restroom was in there. I guess that wasn't a thing back then, for ladies to have a restroom. And I think that's, I mean, there's a lot of history to that building. It was remodeled, but it was dated back to the that time frame. I'm still strongly against, but you know, if there's no money there and it's gonna cost the city a fortune, then that's a different story. But I think we should first really give it I mean, we've got people who've already said that they're willing and already actively seeking grants and money to help preserve our downtown. I mean, I don't know what kind of outrage was when that other building got tore down. Like I said, a couple of the Cedar building But was there any outrage on that one? Probably not.
It was
They just,
City Hall.
well, right, well, yeah, but it's still in the historic part, and it was
We
in
would
a,
not be here
sure,
expressing our concerns about that building.
I'm sorry, what was
We
that?
would not be here expressing our concerns about that building because that was not the issue.
Oh, that it wasn't a city building.
Correct.
Gotcha. Yeah, right, but still though, the fact though, like it's in the historic part of downtown and it was a historic building and it was a part of our downtown
We
landscape.
didn't like to see it go.
Right, sure. No, I'm not saying that you weren't. I'm just asking about that part of it. But anyways, there's people with a lot of good ideas that what could be done with that building if it is savable. I just really truly hope that we can go a different route before we keep entertaining this idea of possibly demoing the building. Especially if there's people out there already like working to, and you said that there's a congressperson or a state representative?
Yeah, state representative, his chief of staff will tell us exactly which grants to pursue. And SHPO, the State Preservation Historical Society, they've got monies. They've got monies. I think what we need to do also, like Paul, you mentioned, getting bids for demo, but how about getting bids for just a restoration? I think both of those will go hand in hand. And that will give us guidance of how many more grants to seek, or can we knock it all out in one?
Yeah.
So we have options still, but I hope we're just not going that fast, take some time to pursue. That's all I ask.
Yeah.
There is time. If you read the resolution to seek bids for the demolition, they're not even due until June 27th, something like that. So that's just to get the bids in, then it has to get, then once they're open, then based upon those, the city will need to make a decision as to when and how. We have to figure out how to pay for it if we're gonna do it. And renovation is always, or restoration is always an option. But it's very expensive. And my concern is always that you've got an old shell and you're gonna put new stuff in an old shell. And how long is that old shell gonna stand up? Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, I do. My turn.
All right.
So keep on short. I'm done waiting on other people to do interviews for the seasonable help. So I've locked on some for later on this week. Myself and Miss Linda Washington will be meeting with a couple candidates for my two-man crew that I have over there at the cemetery for right now. She's putting that on there because it didn't make the agenda. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, George, I'm gonna say something.
All right.
There were copies of the report, about 25 or 30 were put out on the former city hall. And people collected those, I think, maybe. If you didn't, I mean, that's on you. If you didn't get one, if you want one, all you gotta do is ask for one. Also, Mr. Helster, I understand that, I know now this is the time, we haven't heard anything, but from the citizens, of if City Hall, the old City Hall does go down, what are your plans, what are your ideas for up there? And I understand, I know you're a wife and Trent Fresh Hour on the other side have come up with something with it, so.
Right.
So if you wouldn't mind kind of spreading that around, what are the stuff that, there are people out there, should be more than just one group of two people, whatever stuff. Now's the time for you guys that don't kind of like what's going on, is put your input in, either that or just don't say anything.
Are you gonna have a public forum for that?
We're just asking, why would we need a public forum?
Well, so people can come in and actually talk and get answers to their questions.
But you need, you come in with an idea, you want one and stuff, we can look at that, and then if you wanna have a public forum after that, we can't come in with a public forum and nobody's there. There are no ideas there. Where are your ideas?
Somebody please answer Mr. Wiley's had his hand up for like 20 minutes.
I know,
Other
I
people
have
are
time
talking out of the
left,
audience.
George. You
you
told me.
had 30 seconds.
Paul.
Yeah.
Crumsick, I'm Terry Wild. I'm gonna get hammered on that again. Paul, when somebody makes us comment, like you comments, multiple comments about, oh yeah, I met with an architect or I met with a contractor, but nobody knows who. Have you shared it with your council members or the mayor or the city clerk? No. When somebody does that, when I was in business, I was able to read people's comments and I got good at it. I still don't believe you're telling the truth because you won't share information, just like everything else up here, behind closed doors, not transparent. You're all hiding stuff. That's my comment to you, Paul. And until
Okay,
you
30
change,
seconds are up.
thank you.
I just had a real quick comment. If you're going out for demolition bids, I think that should include the concerns about how you're going to protect the people. You
That's
can't
what
just have the lowest person come bid. You have to take into consideration the vibration, the hazardous materials has to be included in
Just to
it.
let you know, we know that. That has to be part of the bid request when it goes out. And remediation, safety, insurance, all of that is part of the bid.
It just seemed like the ordinance had it in there and it was gonna go real quick.
No, it isn't.
No.
It took a long time to demolish Deb's, the old Deb's place.
And I don't agree with that.
But that took a long time to demolish because we had the bids, we had the cost, but there were a lot of legal issues and other issues. This took a long time to get that building torn down. And it came down just before I came on the council. And now it's a parking lot.
Can the mold be taken care of for them in the meantime, since this could take a long time? You know, you guys moved all the employees out, but what about like the direct neighbors? Would the insurance cover that or turn something like that in? For like,
Fix the roof first.
you know, just for the hazard for the
Well,
neighbors?
your time is up too.
He didn't have any time. He wasn't in the audience tonight.
Huh?
He should have had audience time too tonight.
Over 10 minutes.
So anyway, we will have to explore that.
George, super fast, since I don't think I used my whole 5 minutes.
Yes, I know you did.
And you were talking about how there's time for other people to do things and said that the bids would be June 22nd. As you well know, the grant that I was saying that we finally got submitted, that was also started by a state senator. It's taken 4 years to even get that submitted. And they say it's gonna take at least 4 or 5 months minimum to review. So the end of June is like no time.
Well, I know. There's no time at all. But the state and federal monies have their own calendar.
This was state,
I know. that's
as you
state.
well know.
And the nice thing about that particular grant is there was a no match grant. So the $200,000 is $200,000. Okay, we need to move on and get our business done. Yes,
I just have a quick question that came up while you were talking to Sherry Wright. So previously, it's been said, if you put out something for bid, you have to accept the bid and accept it to be done. So if you put out a bid for demolition, but you're not sure you're gonna demo it, and yet you put out bid requests, how does that work? I mean, because the attorney has said before, if you put out a bid, you have to accept it.
you have to accept the lowest bid unless there's a reason why the company preparing the bid has issues, or we have issues with them, then we can turn that bid down and go to the next lowest bid.
Right,
That's for
but
buying.
Why not take an estimate instead of a bid? A bid's only go contract.
I'm just confused as to why the attorney said, think about it before you put out a bid. I believe it was to get the cemetery mowed.
Yeah.
Don't do, you have to do it this way. But now you're saying, well, we are going to put out a bid. Don't worry, it's not until the
Let
end of
me talk to
June.
the attorney, we'll talk to the attorney and get an answer about that on Monday.
Okay, Tuesday.
Tuesday, you're right.
Yeah, that's a great point, because, if that is true, I mean, why even gamble? On getting a bid right
I
now?
have to find
We
out
need
from
to,
the attorney, because there may be something in bidding for demolition
There's a way to do it.
that gives you leeway. It doesn't have to be immediate.
There's a way of wording it correctly.
Okay, moving on to the rest of the agenda. Thank you all for your comments. I've noted them, taking notes, they're on the recording. Excuse me, we're gonna get started here.
You talking to me?
I'm talking, no, not to you.
I'll
I'm
just
talking to anybody who's mumbling and talking back there. Okay, moving forward, Finance Committee.
Okay, our first item is renewing the Good Energy contract that was discussed earlier. To recap that real quickly, we're paying like 8 cents a kilowatt hour now. That could go up under this to 9.6 cents for locked in for 4 years, but Ameren's rates have been about 12 cents an hour for the last several years, according to this. So it sounds like a good deal.
Yep, we've already come to consensus, on it, I think,
Yeah.
after the presentation. So that's good to go.
Okay.
Make sure he gets it for the agenda.
All right, item 2, business district grant for the Chamber of Commerce for $1,451. That would go towards parking lot debris removal, crack filling and seal coating, and waxing the flooring in the basement. Yeah, I don't think that's a lot of money. I think we can go ahead with that.
So it's in the budget, it's in the budget for the business district. Do you have any comments? You sure you're representing them?
No.
Okay. Is a recommendation to move forward with that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, same sort of thing for item 3, this is a business district grant for Meredith Funeral Home, and I think that would go towards their HVAC. Replacement of main floor cooling system, installation of matching air handler, piping, sheet metal, electrical work, replacement of gas heater in lower level garage. Total on that would be $81.56.
And they're gonna match it and meet all the requirements.
Right.
Yep.
Consensus?
Yes.
No.
Yes? Okay. Moving forward,
Okay, job description for director of finance.
can we hold off on that? Because we have another item.
Yeah, I know it's tangled up with a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah. Let's take care of that.
Yeah, all right.
Because it's duplicating on something else. Okay. Anything else for Finance Committee?
No, I think that's it.
Thank you, sir. Water sewer.
okay, we got the Hunter Street lift station replacement change order. I do not have that. Penny has that. Or I'm sorry, I'm speaking for you. Do you have that copy of that or no? Is this the one that we were discussing earlier?
I, excuse me, I have not received anything. I
Okay.
saw it was put on the agenda. I didn't have it, in my possession.
Okay.
I think it's in here.
I do have what was
In there.
suggested as a
Well,
change,
the paper clip there.
but I don't have anything, the document that was put on the agenda.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
I don't see a document that
There we
says,
go. Change order number 2.
There were some suggestions made by the attorney to make some changes to the language and then sent back to TWM. I'm not aware if that was ever received back from TWM, but I know that the attorney asked for it to be discussed tonight in some fashion. I'm assuming that maybe the mayor or you knew more about that because that's what the email from Luke said, is that he would put that back in RJ and the mayor's hand as to what they wanted to proceed with. So I'm kind of a little bit out of the loop. I do have the changes to what was presented to them, if you want me to read those.
Sure. That'd be great, thank you.
So the limited release of claims, there was an additional language in the start of that says for and in consideration of the payment of $185,000 along, and he added, along with any additional costs that arise solely related to change order number 2 dated March 25th, 2026. The only other change he made to that original document was a line that added one sentence here. It's paragraph 3 here, but anyway, to the end of the middle of the paragraph, it's understood and agreed that is a limited release in full compromise and settlement only these claims associated with proposal enumerated in exhibits A and D, and any future claim arising out of the work arising out of or related to the work set out therein against TWM as set forth above, but specifically reserves any and all other claims the undersigned may have for any unrelated issue on the project, including manufacturer contractor warranties relating to the work in issue or claims as against Hair Plumbing and Heating Incorporated. Further, City of Lebanon, Illinois agrees to hold harmless any release and releases TWM for any damage to other property caused by Hair Plumbing and Heating Incorporated in the performance of their work called out in the proposal. What was added was, and not related to survey or work provided by TWM. And should such damage occur, City of Lebanon, Illinois agrees will pursue Hair Plumbing and Heating Incorporated for such damage. So the and not related to survey or work provided by TWM was added. That was presented back to their attorney, I believe, and last I knew on Friday, they were waiting for that to come back from TWM's attorney. So I think the thought was that we discussed if the council was in agreement with the original. Originally, it was talked about not being okay with the change order, going off of the original change order, and it was brought back that we thought it was okay to go with that. TWM's attorney wasn't in agreement with going in a different route. I don't know what conversations would happen in between those two. I just know that this is what came back and was supposed to be put on the agenda for tonight to be discussed if the council was ready to move forward with a limited release of claims for the original contract with change order of $185,000.
Yeah.
That's the information that I know. Charlie, are you aware of any other information back and forth? With it?
I have this one that was on the, are you referring to the one from Hair? The Hair Plumbing thing?
I don't have anything from Hair other than the change order. The change order is the same change order that was presented in the beginning, which was $185,000 change order to, which is what Hair, or what TWM is agreeing to pay for, is that $185,000 change order.
Well, I have a change on that. She says plus additional freight cost of EFI equipment, which would be $6,164. Total revised amount for this proposal is $191,164.
I never received that. But I was under the, I did have a conversation with TWM and that was supposed to be, if there was additional monies required from Hair in the time change between when it was initially proposed and now,
that TWM would be covering that additional cost, but I was never told what that cost was, and I did not see that document.
Would you like it, or do you need a copy of it?
Well, so,
I think it needs to be up here for you all to decide.
Okay.
I mean, though, obviously the cost has gone up because of fuel and everything else is what my guess is, in the time. And, I personally, we need to get, I mean, we're under the gun. If we push this anymore, like I said last 2 weeks ago or whenever I was last year, this is as good as it's gonna get. They're gonna do with the job that they're supposed to do. It's gonna be an up and running lift station. They're not gonna just put the thing in and not make sure it's operational. It's gonna be an operational lift station. So
Can I make 2 more comments before you?
yeah, and I was gonna speak on some what you had mentioned earlier, which I think was a great point. She had brought up the fact that, it would be nice to have a, no later date than, like a cutoff date. Because, was it November, December? That,
To be completed by December 30th.
that's,
We're working off of an original.
has to be an up and running pump station by December
Yeah, we're
30th.
working off of an original contract that is out of date anyway.
Right.
So if we're making a change order to that original contract, we need to have a date in there for their final to be, this has to be complete, up and running, everything done and functional before December 31st, or our money is in question from their ARPA money. So as part of this document, and I did present that to Luke, I don't know if, that, like I said, I don't have anything that.
Yeah.
There's a date on
you
it,
guys.
September 15th.
I'm sorry?
There's a completion date of September 15th, ready for final payment October 15th.
Oh,
It's not even ordered. Yeah, it's not ordered, so I don't.
I'm just saying, like, if it's the date you asked for, there's a date on there.
Yeah, I don't have that document, so everything that I have doesn't show any dates at all. So that's why I just said, I think we need to have a date. What does that date show? I'm sorry,
September 15th.
of 2026?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, it's on page 2 of the contract. I tried to zoom in on it, but I know the TV is helpful but small at the same time. It should be on page 2 of the TWM contract that was attached online as an attachment.
Recommendation.
I would go with, I mean, yes.
It's time for a recommendation, I think.
Yeah, I recommend that we go with this. It's a complete lift station. It's gonna be, this is up and running. They're not gonna just set it in and not have it running. It's gonna be an operational lift station.
Yeah, we need 12 weeks for delivery, so we're
We're cutting.
pushing that anyway.
Right.
So
We're
It
cutting.
needs to go now.
And not only that though, I mean, Hair Plumbing could easily say, you know what, you drug your feet. We have all these other contracts that we gotta take care of. We can't help you. They could easily do that. So I think that I recommend that we go forth with this and get this behind us.
Yeah.
Get these people some peace of mind to know that they don't have to have stuff pumping out in the backyard all the time.
Yeah.
Does everybody in the council agree to move forward?
Yes.
I'm seeing nods. That's what I see, so we'll move forward with that. Make sure it's on the agenda.
Yes.
One more thing to say about that.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
And that is, we did have around 3 inches of rain today. Tammy mentioned that Mike and Tom were out there. We were all out there at one point. The lift station did alarm for high level. It never got to a backup state, but that's because we were there. Mike is still out there right now monitoring that station to make sure. Kevin just left to go help pump it down one time. We're not pumping into the backyard. We're using the bypass. That is part of this proposal also, is that bypass stays active, so we are not pumping on the ground. We're not having SSOs in that process, so I just want to make that clear as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. The limited release of claim agreement, TWM, I believe that pretty much goes with the change order, right?
Right, if we don't approve that, nothing to move.
Right, so, I can move that forward as well. And then the update on the, Herman Street water line replacement. If you don't mind,
Sure, the Hunter Street water line is in the design phase. It is, the plans were sent to me on Friday. So those are to be reviewed with TWM later this week. There's a few things to be answered in there, questions that they have, for me and or for the city. I did not get a chance to look at those today because of the rain, obviously, but they are there. I'll be meeting with them sometime later this week. After that meeting, there will be documents that are ready to be signed by the mayor to be sent to the EPA for the permit for construction. So once those are reviewed, any issues, whatever we have, those will come up here. If there's any questions, and then those documents will be presented for signature to the mayor to then get the construction permit. And then after we get that in process, then there'll be documentation to go to bid for that project.
thank you. And that's it for water and sewer.
All right.
What about the plan in place, well, when Penny's gone? I sure you said we were getting to it.
Well, there is a item on the agenda under personnel. Appoint an interim water sewer.
There's still only 3 employees though.
Right,
I'm asking the plan when she's gone, when it rains. Before the new one gets in. What's the plan?
I believe from my understanding, I believe the streets and the, sewer and water will be working together in events that
And they
are,
know how to do it?
I mean, starting pumps. I think these guys are pretty knowledgeable guys and giving hands with the sewer and pumping pumps and moving things around and getting things where they need to be. I think I strongly think that they can handle that, but.
Well, the new
Tommy got burned by one not too long ago. He's worked there for 20 years, just saying.
I can tell you that today, the guys were, so we're dealing with stormwater issues, we're cleaning culverts, and they were busy on their own things and were not available to help with water pumping issues. So it is an uncomfortable situation moving forward with 3 people and 2 people, because in the big rain event like today, there are flooding issues. I was pulled over by McHenry Security about a stormwater issue. So I'm happy to look at it, but you're gonna have to let me finish what I'm doing first. So there are concerns about the number of people who would be here to handle that. Now, in saying that, everyone knows, and the people who are gonna be left in water and sewer know the very first place they're gonna go is Hunter, because that's the most problematic place. But we were also checking the school today, we were checking Wesley today, because a 3-inch rain is a lot of rain in a short amount of time. It wasn't the 7-inch rain that some of the other towns got, thank God, because, you know, there's not enough people to handle that with only 3 people. In a 7-inch rain, Kent and Kevin were busy cleaning catch basins today, so trying to keep people from backing up that way. So it is a concern, and it does need to be looked at much more seriously than just, I think everybody can handle it. I think those people can handle it too. But when you've got 7 places that need people and you've got 5 people, that's a concern.
Were these guys, you said they were cleaning out culverts and stuff and clearing drains today?
Yeah.
Is that kind of like, yeah.
And I realize that may not be as big as flooding somebody's basement, but in the 7-inch rain, if they wouldn't have cleaned those, there would have been more people backed up from just stormwater issues. So it is a concern.
Sure,
just
yeah,
want
I
to
think,
Put
yeah.
that out there, it is a concern.
Absolutely, and I mean, maybe we can get to where we're a little more like proactive, I guess, I don't know, making sure like drains and stuff like that are cleared throughout the day. running the street sweeper more often, things like that. I mean, there's other like proactive things that we could do to help you guys in these rain events to make sure things are clear. I think a lot of the ditches need to be reditched. I don't know when, I don't know.
It's hard to do with two people.
Absolutely, yeah. But I mean, at that time, we didn't have just two people. We had.
Well, we do now.
Right, but like I said, more proactive kind of things. Just my opinion. Do I think we need maybe a couple more bodies for now? I'm not sure. I'm not
Will we have a
exactly where our
director
numbers
before
are
Penny
at,
leaves?
so.
Is the director like close before Penny's time to be gone?
I'm sorry?
Is the director close before Penny leaves or?
We've had a lot of applicants from my understanding and, like I said, I've been gone for a little over a week and, getting back to things and begin with, yeah, interviewing next week, great. So we'll be looking at some candidates and hopefully we can get somebody in here that, will, help us out. So. All good things.
Anything else for water sewer?
No.
Personnel, and I'm sure personnel's not here. So we're gonna go down through these as best we can. Do we want to do the city accountant job posting or discuss, we have, the agenda is not in the order of probably importance. We're looking at the director of finance issue. And if we have a director of finance, that would preclude meeting a city accountant, because that's part of the director of finance's duty.
It's financing and accounting.
What?
So I think that's financing and accounting is the,
Finance and accountant?
is the title.
Oh, yeah, director of finance and accounting. So do we want to post that?
Yeah, I feel like going with, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
All right. I feel like going with Director of Finance and Accounting for the job description. For sure, we need to upgrade. What we've got now is high school diploma, basic computer knowledge, stuff like that. I think we need, I'd like to see somebody with some of the certifications that are mentioned in this director posting for government finance. So yeah, I think if you get somebody good in that job, you can get more money coming in, not right away, and the streets are never gonna be paved with gold, but it can help solve some problems in the long run.
Sorry. Yes.
Yes, I would agree with Mike as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we get the director, finance accounting posted.
That's up to everybody else.
I think we need to just go, we don't have that much money as it is. And all we're hearing is director. All these chiefs and no Indians.
Yes, that's right.
Good. Right now, we say,
Who's the chief right now, though?
what they talking about?
I know, but we don't have it. There is no.
Can I please finish?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, you talking about director of finance, director of this, director of that. Okay, you just said streets and alleys only have 2 people. Water and sewer only have 3. Why don't we try to build them up first?
I don't think this is the way to do it.
We have
In the
another
long run,
meeting.
we gotta have somebody do the accounting in the short term.
There it is. There's the chief.
And we didn't have them before.
Well, it was called accounting, but we had someone in their job.
The city accountant is doing all these things.
Get an accountant, not a director that would be paying out more money. We need bodies.
Well, just, I mean, if we just have,
In streets and alleys, and we need bodies in sewer. and water
We do.
before we get a director.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We
Yeah,
change the job title if you want, but we gotta get somebody in there. It's called city accountant.
Y'all do whatever. you
Yeah,
want.
right.
That's right.
Right. I think there should be I like seeing the finance component of it as the chair of the finance committee who doesn't know much about finance.
Because he's made it hard to offer you that
You'd be
free.
surprised in people, just because you don't have all these degrees and all these letters behind your name, don't mean you don't know anything.
Correct.
Yeah, but I mean,
Where's the money gonna come from?
who's gonna, who's gonna apply? Is anybody in this town with all these, there's a lot of people with finance background in this town. Now, would they wanna come and apply for this job for, what was it, $30,000 or whatever she was making?
More than that.
58,000.
58,000, okay, 58,000.
Well, you don't raise everything else. You talking about getting a director of finance and accounting?
Right, that takes,
They're not coming for no 58.
right, exactly,
90,000, Linda.
90.
exactly.
Well, can't you cut off a piece of that?
Yeah.
Cover piece of what?
So far,
The
my,
98.
so far, there's been no salary out there, right?
Right.
We don't know for
Yeah,
sure.
we don't
And,
really know.
and basically, part of this is, if my understanding is correct, is restructuring and standardizing the whole shoot match as far as.
Yeah, that's not, we're looking at the whole personnel manual, all the job descriptions.
Well, I'm against it. I think we need more boots on the ground.
Yeah.
That's right.
We need more boots on the ground. Now, I'm through. Yeah, carry on.
Right, and because I'm a laborer myself, so I don't wanna like downplay laborers at all. But a laborer's position is, this is your task for the day, executed. Roger. An accountant job is a whole nother ballgame than just having bodies. So I'm just not understanding, like, you just say, no accountant at all. Is that what you're saying?
No, she's saying accountant, but not
I
financial.
did not say that.
So just change the name of it, is what you're.
No.
Change
The accountant.
The way it was.
Leave it like it was.
I think you need the finance element of it.
Yes.
I agree. The fact that it says city accountant, the city accountant who left us expanded the role of that position tremendously in 7 years. We could not get somebody in here anywhere near what she was making to take care of all those responsibilities. Basically, we took the true job description and we are saying now, instead of it just being so that somebody applies for the job, they know what they're applying for. They're not applying for just accounting. They're applying for finance and accounting. They're going to have more responsibility, more control of our finances. This is one of the problems going back years. I have what, 10 months left, going back years. That you didn't really have somebody controlling the whole picture. They concentrated only on accounting. She was doing grants, she was doing accounting, she was doing finance, she was planning.
Okay, so once you get this person that you want, are you still gonna be able to put more boots on the ground too?
No. Not right away.
Okay, that's
The
my
idea
point.
is, if we
So-
don't have the funds, we don't control them, we don't grow them, we don't get smarter on how we spend our money, because we're utilizing somebody else's money, grants and that. We need that person who has the understanding of how that operates, to have the money available to expand and to spend in other places. Right now, we're strapped because there is nothing in the city that's bringing in money. That's where the economic development issue came up. And there are two candidates for mayor in this last round that advocated for an economic development director for that very reason. Now, yes, we had a city attorney at that time who was saying, this company who is advising us on this also has somebody within their staff, they can do it. Problem is nobody jumped on that. When we had that connection. Basically, there are people in economic development who work for the companies we're already contracting with to do things, who could do some of that. But we don't have any money to pay them to do it. So we have to get our own person. So that requires us to take a person and they do it by responsibilities rather than the extra money. Because a person who's a director of economic development alone could easily be $100,000 a year. Easily. We can't afford it.
And then too, like if you want to keep it how it is, like the accountant or whatever it is right now. So we get this person in like, all right, so now you're an accountant. Okay, that's great. But we also want you to do this, and this, and this, because that's what Michelle used to do. And you need to fill those shoes as well. They're like, no, I was hired to do this, not the rest of this. And that's why I feel that we need to make the job description very clear on what is expected of them.
I didn't say don't make it clear. You can make it clear. You can make the job description clear, and you can add a few more bucks to it.
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're
And
getting.
you can get what you want.
Right, that's what we're doing.
But I'm not saying give it all to them.
No, we're not either.
Yeah.
We're not either, but it's nice to have the title fit the job.
Instead of just expecting it out of them, like, hey, welcome to Lebanon. Here's this. Oh yeah, here's 15 other jobs that you gotta do as well. And that's what she was doing.
I just think we need to put more boots on the ground because like the rain today.
Well, the accountant, we can't put more boots in the accountant, because I don't know an accountant been around here who's gonna go out and shovel sewers.
They're gonna have to.
I didn't tell the accountant to go shovel no sewer.
That's what you're kind of implying.
No,
Put
it's
more
not,
boots.
George.
No, she's not implying that. It's,
I'm not implying that, so don't be putting words in my mouth.
she's saying we need to hire more people for the street departments.
Instead of spending the money.
Instead of spending the money here to get a
We still have to have an
financial team.
accountant.
Right.
Well, like you said, we could, when I was talking about putting more boots on the ground, you said you can do that later, why can't you do that later? Get the director later.
So you're suggesting just put it through as an accountant and then put more boots on the ground in the city streets and water and all that other stuff, and then later on possibly do this.
Yes.
Well,
Are we gonna utilize the volunteer finance group
No.
so
She don't.
This is something we can get done.
for like grant writing?
This is something we can get done. Paul, quickly, can I comment?
Before you start, I agree with a lot of what you said, Paul, and you and I are friends, but I disagree with you on this one a little bit, but go ahead, take 2 minutes.
So here's my thought, guys. My job was reduced in 2024. 10 out of 19 account execs gone. They didn't rehire. They still haven't. You guys just cut jobs in the last 2 months, if not less than that. I'm not against anything of this nature, but it's too early. We're not even out of the red. Jessica said 315 is what we need for general fund. We are at 314 excluding taking off 80 to 100 grand for a city accountant with benefits, guys. Remember, if you make 70, you're getting 90. You got free healthcare as an employee.
And return.
Not free. We've got 6.2, I believe, out of our checks. I don't know what it is. And the city pays different. So it's not free retirement. So if this comes up in 6 or 8 months and we have a surplus, And I don't mean 100,000 extra, because you know what? That stuff grows like mold. You gotta have a lot. But Mike, to hear you say that we need finance, and there's no director of anybody, because there's nobody to direct.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so you got a lot of time, okay? So, and I'm not disagreeing with you completely. However, I'm agreeing with Mike because, we do have money. We've been shuffling.
You don't have
Now you're talking and we've given you so much time to talk.
No words from the audience.
Oh, shut up.
I haven't objected.
Can't do nothing. We've been letting it happen all meeting.
Yeah.
Can't say nothing now.
We can talk, but no audience, you all had your
Been letting
chance
them do it
to
all
discuss
meeting.
things all evening.
See,
To come up to the front. and-
those of us that are up here, we're not saying anything when you guys are talking, and you might disagree with us, but we're your neighbors. And see, that's what I'm talking about. You're talking back there,
You're talking while
and
he's
I'm not talking while you're talking. But now you're talking when I'm talking. Whether we're elected or appointed, we're still here to make these hard decisions. And so this financial situation, you say we have a lot of, Mr. Washington, you say we have a lot of chiefs and no Indians. We don't have a full-time mayor that makes these decisions and looks at every department head and has these meetings with every department head and every person that comes in here. We have a sick business. The business is sick. We need some leadership to help with the Indians, if you want to say Indians. We have to have some help with this stuff because we have to generate money. We have to generate money coming into the city. This is the only way we can get our city healthy is by cutting and then by growing it. We have to grow our tax base. And some of those things are in this description of this new job, which Michelle was doing quite a bit of it. And because we lost her, which I'm still angry about, I understand why she left. And I completely agree with that. We have a number of people here that are doing way more than what their job description is. So we have made some decisions to take some of the money that we were paying Michelle as an accountant and also the other things and divvied it up between two of our employees here that are taking on her job, which would not be right to ask them to take that all on without extra compensation. So we're saving money with the accounting financial job right now, even though we're paying extra to employees here. So the numbers, we still don't know where the numbers are to come out, but we're still not spending that much. We're actually losing, we're actually saving money to a certain extent, way more than we did before that we had some people leave. Yes, this is gonna hurt, but we have no choice. We are in a place after how many years this has been going on. We have to make these hard choices, but we also have to build this back up and we need people in place to do it. I can't do it. None of us can do it. We have jobs where Charlie is a part-time mayor. He has certain gifts and other gifts, they're not in that area. So we have to give everybody a decent chance of success. Now, hey, I'm concerned about the water and sewer department too. All this stuff. I can't believe this has been going on so long with you guys. But we have to move forward. And if we're gonna spend a little bit more money to get a better qualified person, so we can count on that person that we can go to for asking questions and get real legitimate answers, I think we should be willing to spend a little bit of money to do that. But just to get an accountant in here, I can't see it. So anyway, that's my.
I agree with you, because we are not experts in every area. And we're only paid, well, I'm only paid $100 a month for all the hours I put in. And so I'm not in this for the pay, I'm in this for the city.
Happens all the time.
But
Sorry, George.
thank you. We need to have some expertise in other areas of the city's staff who have qualifications, and somebody may say, well, they're overqualified for a job as an accountant. Fine, we'll hire a director that has some extra abilities so that we can have that expertise somewhere in staff. It's just like the director of public works. That person will be a in the trenches leader who will be doing a lot of things. But will have expertise in public works as a whole. The other thing we're looking at is economic development. Right now, economic development, according to what we understand, has been the role of the mayor. Well, what have our mayors been doing? I know the past mayors have done a few things, and we have had how many promises of businesses coming into town, buying the land, doing all this stuff, and nothing happens. It's because we don't have a person with the expertise and the connections and the knowledge and the experience to get them in town, get them set up, get them open, get them doing two things. One is bringing traffic to town, and two is generating tax revenue.
Yeah, I just feel that, for like the mayor's position, especially for in this town, I think that I personally think that we should have some type of leader or boss that is inside the office who understands what's going on a day-to-day basis and can, make disciplinary if need be and everything else, because there's people working. Ma'am, can you please?
No.
It's all, I mean, it's all the time. And you constantly are mumbling stuff back there and it's just very rude. I don't know if you just can't help yourself with it or not, but can you please stop doing that as we're speaking? Please. I don't do that to you. None of us do that to you. I know it's been said time and time again, but it's just really disruptive and it's very annoying. It's frustrating. Thank you. I think, I think especially with like the mayor's situation, we have a mayor for maybe 4 years or something like that, and then you're asking this mayor to come in and manage the office, streets and alleys, this, that, when the mayor should be out there promoting Lebanon, getting businesses to come into town, being someone to bring people to our city. And I think that's why it'd be beneficial to have somebody in the office that oversees everything and say, hey, here's what's going on. I handled this, this, and this. But here are some of the big issues that we have. Bringing it to you, bring it to council, and let council decide what needs to be pushed forward from there. That's how I feel like it should go. This is my first time doing this stuff. I was asked to do this stuff. I don't want to do this stuff. Anyways, that's just my 2 cents on it. That's why I feel like we need to have a chief inside with the Indians or however you want to do this. But, because to ask a mayor, to operate and manage all of this stuff and make all these decisions and not be here every single day, day to day, all day, and know all the ins and outs of all of this stuff and be able to make decisions and appoint and bring things to the council is impossible. It's crazy. It doesn't work, and it hasn't worked. I'm sure our previous mayor dealt with the same thing, and our last lawyer was very manipulative and and made people do things I don't think that they really wanted to do, but they felt that it was the right thing to do because the lawyer's saying to do it. And that's not right. This is not a lawyer's city. This is our city, all of your guys' city. And we are, whether we all like it or not, a family. We all want Lebanon to succeed. We don't want it to fall apart, but there's constantly fighting, bickering, everything. Like, I don't know. I'm just so tired of it. And I want to get along with everybody. Of course, we're not going to do that, but this is our home. And none of us want it to go to hell. We all want the best for this town. Everybody here does. All of you guys do, I know, because you're all passionate about it. So am I live here, I don't want it to go to hell. But we need something to happen. And I feel like this is our best route. I mean, some of these decisions we're making are very hard decisions, but we feel that it is the right decision to make.
But this isn't an alderman ran town. This is a lawyer ran town. Yes, it is.
Well, then don't let that happen, then, Sean.
I've been trying that for 2 years. And the people that have been here long enough know.
Well,
And not only that, you got people out there on keyboard constantly putting lemon down.
Right.
Who wants to come to a town where
Absolutely.
the citizens are constantly putting
Oh,
it
yeah.
down?
Absolutely.
Nobody's gonna come up in here.
No. Well, and that's the thing
We
too.
talk about our own town.
Right. And that's the
So
thing
why
too.
would somebody else wanna come here?
Yeah. And that's the thing too. They don't see like the phone calls they try to make with other people and other citizens in this town. And like for me, I personally, it literally breaks my heart. I get home from work and I'm then calling people back and making calls to residents that have called me to return their phone call and talk to them. And my kids, I have little kids, and I'm constantly telling my child, hold on a second, hold on a second, hold on. Yeah, that's awesome. Hold on a minute, hold on a minute. But nobody sees all that. They just think we don't do nothing. And then they make comments about us in the crowd and everything else and on Facebook and everything else. And, you know, but it's so, my term is up, I think, next
Training.
year. So please, like whoever's, like you guys who are here all the time, take the seat. Please. You can have it. It's anyways, I'm sorry, guys. I went off on a whatever. But that's my opinion. I think we need to have some type of chief inside here that can make sure that the day-to-day operations are being done and done correctly. There's been no discipline this entire forever how long, and people have gotten away with murder. It needs to change. We've been doing the same thing for years and it's
we're
not
changing
working. And now we're changing it and now we're the problem. When we're trying to make it to where it's gonna actually work, we're in this situation because nothing has ever changed. We've done the same flipping thing and now everybody's mad because we're changing it to try and fix it. What do you want us to do?
Yeah, and I think we can get more people in public works, not immediately, but we kind of had to do that to fill a budget gap that, and for me at least, kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't realize, it was a few weeks, but that seemed like that all unfolded. And part of the reason why I think is because we don't have this kind of expertise in finance. So get that in there, and maybe we can get the bodies on the street, the boots on the street, whatever you said.
To make great
Next year.
decisions.
Boots on the ground. Boots on the ground. All right. Street, ground.
But you're very good, thank you, guys.
Sean, did you have something? Did you?
I got nothing.
Okay. Well, we have to decide to make a recommendation, or we could just put it off to Monday next week and have the same discussion.
I recommend we do it.
Advertise. Put that on the agenda as an agenda item.
Is that number 2?
Let me look at this.
It's actually.
No, that was still
finance.
number 1.
Well, we're not, finance number 4. Yeah.
Personnel, item number 2 is discussion on Director of Economic Development, Planning and Operations. A long title. But that would be something that we, is that a position that we want to pursue?
Sure. Number 1 there, I'll say, go along with the Director of Finance and Accounting, is that what
Yeah.
you're bringing forward?
Yep.
Okay.
And then item number 2, we want to discuss a potential Director of Economic Development, planning and operations. We have a member of our staff that has already been doing some of this. But it's hard to go to a corporation or a business and talk to them about coming to Lebanon.
Yep.
And your title is, I'm administrative assistant.
Right. So it's like you're a nobody.
Titles carry a lot of weight.
Yep.
Used to do.
I reckon we put forward.
Absolutely.
If anybody wants to ever send something to town on appreciation, I had no idea how much Stephanie was doing for this town at all.
Yeah.
We gotta give her something to work with.
I mean, just
It's
like,
very frustrating.
just the walk to school thing that she has gotten for this town and for everybody's kid here in town to have a safe route to their school. I mean,
We got some good employees.
Yeah.
Jessica.
I just want to share on this, one of the things that I've shared with a couple of you is that when I called, when we were doing the budget and I called and spoke with Moran, who helps with our TIF, and spoke to the auditor, by adding a title of Director of Economic Development, it allows us to be able to pay a portion of that salary out of the TIF district.
Yeah.
Without that title and
Right.
without those duties in her job description, we can't do that. So this is not, this increase in pay or change in job would not be a direct underlying
Right.
impact on the general budget. It's going to be able to be supplemented by the TIF, which we are not currently leveraging.
That's a good point. I forgot to say that.
Right, thank you. Yeah, we have to learn to leverage some of the other
Yeah, the other funds. we got.
funds that we have that we're not able to touch. So that's big, that's big.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say moving forward, that's just
Want
me.
to move that forward?
Yes.
Okay, we'll move that forward. And the city accountant's job description is in the personnel manual. And if we do the director of accounting and finance, that whole thing will be changed. Is that okay with everybody? Put that off to that point?
Yeah.
And then, last item under personnel, we recommended appointing Kevin Haas as interim water sewer superintendent.
Yeah, I'll jump in on that, George.
Okay, go ahead. I was hoping you would.
Okay, Kevin was offered this, I mean, he said it was fascinating and all that stuff, I was just trying to get an answer from him because he wanted to speak to his union. So I emailed him on like Friday, it was after 3 o'clock. So I get this kind of nasty email back from me, don't bother me when I'm not in office hours. Then later on, I said, I need your answer or whatever stuff, I said, business hours or not, I need an answer. He didn't get it, so he responds with, don't contact me anymore or I will get a lawyer. So it's just like, what the heck? Anyway, long story short, Kevin refused the proposal made by the council of $90,000, which wasn't an exorbitant raise in his salary, but he refused it. So therefore, we're going to try to look at a third party to take that position once he leaves.
As a total lie, you know it. You text me at 1:45 in the morning. It may have, I don't care, you don't do that. It's wrong, and you know it.
Kevin, you have to sit down, please.
You can throw me out, that's fine.
Come on.
Been thrown out better places.
2 o'clock in the morning is kind of.
There's a lot more of this that you weren't here for.
Huh?
There's a lot more that you weren't here.
Another thing too, you can throw me out after this. Do you know that once you do not have an operator here, that you are in direct violation of the EPA immediately when that happens? So that's all, we all know all the rest of you up there, so that's
Yes.
fine too.
Yes, we know. Okay,
Okay.
so let's move on.
Charlie, you have anything else you want to take?
No, I just want to let you know he's refused it, so we'll be finding somebody else, a third party, to take the position.
Okay.
There are organizations out there that have temporary people who come in.
$85 an hour.
I'm sorry?
$85 an hour.
Well, I know what one of them was, that's less than what you make.
Well, you ain't getting good help then. Good luck with that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So that'll not be on the agenda for Monday. Charlie, you're gonna get something to do with that?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Outside that, health and safety, anything?
No.
Okay. Unfinished business. We need to discuss and recommend, make a recommendation regarding leasing a storage unit to secure items in the city hall that are there right now. Probably need to come out because of climate control, other things as well.
Stephanie, did you guys figure out what size you need, if you
You
need
guys were
something?
supposed to do that.
What?
You guys need to do that?
Oh,
You guys?
You're supposed to kind of figure out the volume is what you thought, what needed.
What size
Figure out what size.
Size, and then I need to know if you want climate controlled or not climate controlled, so I could get good
I
estimates.
missed that memo. I thought you guys, because you guys are gonna destroy a bunch of, destroy a bunch of paperwork and stuff like that, so.
Well, that sounds horrifying. We have
Well-
a room full of like old shreds that need
Right,
shredded.
right, something that needs to be shredded, sorry.
Yeah,
So, okay, so we don't know yet. We have to put that back because we don't know yet.
we'll need somebody to go up there and kind of figure out how big we need, let me know, and then let me know if you want climate controlled or not climate.
Okay,
The difference between climate control and non-climate control was really.
considerably different.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll be willing to go up with a few of you and try to figure out what's gonna go on. If we can put it in some other building or if we need something
Okay,
else.
so we can put this back on the agenda.
Yeah.
As a motion item.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, a couple of years ago, the police department had shredded many years of old reports. We got permission to do it. Luann was here then, and then she was. Okay, and she was working on doing that, and I know she had to get, probably, I don't know, maybe the same permission I had to get, I'm not sure. But we went through shred it, and I tried to get it, I tried to do both the police department and city hall at the same time. So I know she told me that there was, and there's a lot there. I wouldn't put that in storage. I'd let it sit there and collect dust and let's just go shred it.
That's what we're talking about, yeah.
Okay, so they'll come to us, literally take it up, we'll have to take it off the shelf. I had it all set up 2 years ago. And I don't remember where it fell through the cracks, but it did. But it's a matter of giving them an shredded approximate amount of boxes. And they will literally come with their truck.
Oh.
Put it in a trash can, for lack of a better word, and wheel it onto their truck. So, but they're gonna wanna know the size box and that type of thing.
Gotcha.
We did this, started to do it, it was well over 2 years ago. And it wasn't cheap. I mean, I'll tell you that. I can look it up. I tell you what it cost the PD. We had a lot, and I can guarantee you City Hall's got 3 times what we had.
Yeah, instead of somebody just
But
going,
I wouldn't waste the money paying somebody.
move it.
The biggest problem is that somebody has to go through what's there and determine what paperwork needs kept versus what needs shredded.
Right.
And that's what's difficult is they're already a person down up here at City Hall, and so like, they don't have the time to go either. And so somebody has to go and start going through that, or bringing it here, or it's something. That's the problem, is like, we don't really know how to judge what size we need, because I don't know what's junk in there versus what needs kept, because I swear there's like manuals and stuff in there that have never, like, I joke that they're like the original, from when the city was first established. And there's bookshelves and bookshelves of them of things that we haven't pulled in years, and I don't know what's required to be kept versus what we can get rid of, and vice versa. So that's kind of, somebody has to be willing to take on that project, and it's not a little project.
It's not a little one. The Sharon from the Historical Society, they offer to take some of that too. Like, if we think it's not something we want to move, but it has some relevance to
Sure.
Lebanon history, like, they would take it for the museum.
Okay.
The question is the who. We'll just keep working on it. We don't have time. It's not an immediate.
So it's starting to get there.
Anything else for unfinished business? Got a whole list of new business that could go quickly, depends. There is a discuss amending a resolution and finding a fact for a special use permit for the fireworks stand. Is that in our packet?
I can speak on that.
Go ahead.
If that's all right. So it says on the special use permit that it is for retailer, for retail fireworks. For the permitting for the state for a consumer grade fireworks stand, it just needs to say consumer grade fireworks and not retail sales of fireworks.
So
Just because otherwise you could sell 1.3 fireworks, which are like bombs.
Yeah, like almost done.
So it needs to be consumer grade. Yes, sir.
Do you want retail removed at all altogether?
It can stay retail, it just needs to say consumer on.
Yeah, that's the only change that's going on with the resolution and the ordinance.
So just change the script.
That's it.
Okay, well, that has to go on the agenda so we can approve the change. It's fine. Anybody else object to that?
No.
Okay. Discussion or recommendation amending special use ordinance for fireworks stand, for the fireworks stand. The first one was finding a fact, so it's the same thing.
Yes.
So, that okay with everybody?
Yep.
Discussion and recommendation to the survey the city hall property, so we have a current survey. What's is the cost of that been explored?
I received one, I mean, it wasn't gone out, this was given to me when I inquired about it, it's like $2,700. But partially what that's for is they have the issue of the Mermaid House and the building next to it. The Mermaid House encroached on the property next door 6 inches. And we got to the alley at the end of it, the building was being encroached on by 6 inches, was like 3 feet or whatever this way. So the Sionis living next door, I'm sure they don't want to, I'm sure they want to find out where the pins are and whether they encroach on the city property or whether the city property encroaches on theirs, or if the pins are right.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Charlie, there's a pin right on the corner of the library. There's an iron pin right there.
We'll get the whole thing done.
Okay, well, I just mean if you're looking for it, it's right here.
Well, a surveyor will have to find.
Something we're gonna have
Another point.
to, something we're gonna have to do anyway, eventually with whatever we do.
Sorry, can I ask a quick question? Do you know who would have placed that thing?
It's been there ever since 40.
It's probably older than Charlie.
Okay. Sometimes if we contact the same person, they charge a very small fee to come out and like re-put those or notify, so I was hoping.
And it is solid in the ground.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So we're gonna put that on the agenda for Monday to do the survey. Item number 4. We're gonna recommend here it is, recommending a resolution approving assignments of certain accounts and duties to other employees and authorizing additional pay for said employees. And there is something in here that has that outlined.
Yep.
We want to recommend that moving forward?
Yes, for me.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's all outlined, who's gonna do what duties. All right. So that's a recommendation from council. And an ordinance finding that demolition of city-owned structure located at 312, 314 West St. Louis Street is necessary, and authorizing the solicitation of bids for demolition of that building.
We need to have that look at it for legal purposes to figure out if we have to take the bids or not, just estimates or whatever.
Yeah, find that out before Monday, so that could be added. That could be on the agenda without a recommendation.
Right.
I got this question, we still keep getting back to demolition. I don't see anything for rehabilitation. So that's telling me that you're only, that the council here is only going forward with demolition, so I just want to be clear.
No, we're just getting facts. We're just trying to get facts.
Okay, that's cool. And being in the military, when you put something out for bid, that doesn't mean you have to go on one bid.
No.
You can get 100 bids and tell them, oh, you guys all suck. You don't meet our requirements.
Right.
And I would ask if that was good, because that will give us a ballpark figure that for the folks that wanna go rehab it. Then we can know about the ceiling monies for rehab and what we can ask for grants. That would help us out too.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I think too, like, if it's like not on the agenda, you can't discuss it or talk about it. Which I personally, I don't understand that. I would understand it if we didn't have an owl that is live and people can watch it and the very next day they can watch it. I think, I don't know if it's an old rule or not, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you say something under new business or something like that, I don't know why you couldn't bring it up. Because people are able to speak on it now.
Yeah, if those are the rules, I apologize.
No, you're fine. I want to know, why is it that
Because under the Open Meeting Act, everybody is entitled to
Right.
see an agenda 48 hours before the meeting. So if there's gonna be an item acted on, the public has 48 hours to know that's happening.
Right, but on, I understand that part, but just like in the committee meeting to where there is no vote on it or anything like that, just being discussed.
We can do that. We can say, the committees do not vote on anything. We just make recommendations.
Right.
And that's based upon the consensus.
George,
But we
I'm
can't
gonna say-
introduce a new item.
George, I was gonna say something to what RJ was saying was, when Paul last week had his time to speak as part of the agenda, is he brought up something that was not, I mean, so many people may like that, not like that, whatever. He wasn't supposed to do that. If it was me doing it or any of the
Any of us
council
here.
members, it shouldn't have happened.
No.
So that's the reason he was cut off.
Because it wasn't on the agenda?
Yeah. It
Yes.
was not on the agenda.
If it's an item on the agenda, we can talk about it, do things.
We get so far, and then if we get too far into it, he has to cut us off because there's legalities to it.
Right.
So once we get past that place, we're counting on him to stop us.
Did the rule change about the mayor speaking at committee meetings? I thought the mayor wasn't supposed to be involved in committee meetings.
I didn't know there was a rule about
I
that.
thought that was, I thought they were like public at committee meetings. They're not, they're part of the audience, I thought.
They are.
It's like she wasn't allowed to talk when I would ask her questions when she was the mayor. That's what I was just curious.
I don't know.
But the chair, for the presider of the committees can ask the mayor for information and response.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Sure.
Frank, do you want to come and meet up here at some point? Did you talk to Monica Gard? Is that who you talked to?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
My wife did.
Okay, if you want to talk about, like what kind of grant she talked about, they'll actually be up here in July, but I talk to Monica pretty often,
Oh,
and she
good.
is very helpful.
Good, yes.
If you want to schedule a time to talk about that.
Okay.
Okay. Moving down to a long list. Okay. So we're on the ordinance to get bids for demolition.
No, we already did that.
Yeah, we already did.
Number 6, George.
Number 6, thank you. Lost count. Discuss recommend resolution, amending resolution 05/2025 to modify the salary for the superintendent water sewer department. Basically, that may be a moot issue right now. That may not be a moot issue. I think we still need to rescind that. Now, I'll tell you, and my reasoning is because even if we bring in a third party, we don't want that salary sitting out there as the salary we're gonna pay. We're gonna pay $90,000, not $140,000. So my suggestion is recommend that we rescind that ordinance.
Number 6 and number 8 are exactly the same.
Right.
George.
Yeah, number 6 and number 8 are exactly the same.
Okay.
So is there a consensus to do that?
Yes.
Okay, we'll do that. And then Is that the end? No.
Seven.
Oh, okay, discussion recommendation authorizing additional, approving assignment of certain treasurer duties for other employees and authorizing additional pay for said employees. Did we discuss that?
Kind of, yeah, but we decided yes.
We decided yes,
I think so.
and that's it. There isn't anything else on the
I
agenda,
have
by the
one,
way.
I have one thing.
Okay,
Sorry, I should have said this earlier, this doesn't have anything to do with water and sewer, but I got a call today from Rich Haynes, who has had some concern about a wet spot in his field before all of this rain. He called today wanting me to give him a contact for the state, for the flooding on the highway down there. Told him I don't have that contact. I asked him to contact the mayor or to put something on, Voice Lebanon, so that he could get an answer because I didn't have that contact for him. And I told him I would bring it up here because he's concerned about the flooding along 50. And somebody did end up having an accident there, flooded bad today, more than once.
Kenny, that's down by Martin Borough, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, and actually before that, now even it's come up. So anyway, I told him I'd bring it up tonight for everybody's, word. If anybody has a contact at the state that he could contact, he said he'd be happy to do that. The place in this field that's being a problem is from when the Tombow extended pipe from the nursing home, where that ties in, it's causing a problem in this field. He has looked at that, pipe is actually half full from the ditch at the highway, so if you could just, somebody contact him or give me a number, I'd be happy to give it back to him.
right on District 8. Office.
I think that that's already been done, but I think we need a specific person, maybe is what he's looking for, so if anybody has that.
I mean, Joe Monroe is the district engineer of District 8. I believe though, well, Route 50 there, that is the Belleville district. That would be the Belleville maintenance yard. I can get you contact info for all that.
Yeah, or I can give you.
Or that guy, yeah, if you want to give me his info and I can relay it to him.
I'll send that number to you and you can relay it to him. I do think he's gonna call you, Mayor, though. He said he was gonna call you as well.
Also, I EPA stormwater, where I know whom it used to be, but he retired 2 years ago. But I EPA stormwater addresses that as well.
Thank you. Before we adjourn, I apologize for blowing up at you. That's my fault. I do special appointment. Too many people are talking, so just keep quiet. I'm sorry. There's nothing else on the agenda, and according to the rules, we're adjourned. See you all Monday night.